Your day just got better.
Today is the fifth and final day of our special week of guest hosts. Sitting and standing beside me for the entire hour is Joumana Kidd. You're the only woman that made it through this entire week. Yes? Were you a bud girl?
What?
Hello, everyone, and happy Friday to you. Welcome to Better. I'm Audra Lowe alongside Joumana Kidd. And, you know, all week long we've been having a special guest co-host joining us. And today we've got Joumana here. And it is so good to have you here. You're the only woman that made it through this entire week.
Yes,
rounding out the week
well,
with
it's been great to be here and working with you.
Yeah,
I
love it. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully you'll be here full time.
I hope so.
Okay, now we've seen you on the red carpet too. You've done a lot of entertainment interviews, right?
I did.
And then with athletes, you've interviewed
Yes,
quite a
I
few?
worked for NBA TV for quite some time.
Wow.
So
I'm a
worked
huge basketball
finals.
fan.
And are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who was your favorite athlete to interview?
Oh my God! You know what? Brian Scalabrine, and people don't even know who he is half the time. But he was just so much fun. And Shaq, that's so many. Shaq is a blast because so much off the court craziness.
He's so funny guy.
He is a comedian.
Now I saw something, and I want to know if it's true. Were you a bud girl?
What?
When you were in college, is that right? Or
I was
right
a promotional model.
Okay.
Hired by Budweiser, yes. But I used it to network. You know, every time we did a function, I got to know the right people. And as soon as I graduated from college, I landed my first real job was a marketing rep for the contemporary marketing team for Anheuser-Busch.
Look at you. So it paid off then.
Absolutely. And I hired the Bud girls for the events.
See, and you were still networking when you were doing all that stuff, right?
I had a plan.
And you're working on 2 independent films right now?
Yes.
Right?
I've got, so they've been in the works for quite some time.
Okay.
Actually, one, Getting Even, is really, it's right around the corner from production, and we're very excited about it.
What I was excited about, though, was to see her on this reality show. Let's Talk About Pep. Yeah, it was about, these women that were dating in the city and your trials and triumphs, and it was really, really fun, and I hope that we get a chance to see the show again on VH1.
Yeah.
I'm crossing my fingers.
It was almost too much fun to call work. We just had a blast. It was like a Sex in the City.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, too. So speaking of fun, we want to hear from you, our viewers, what you think our special co-host has done on the show, how they did. So what you have to do afterwards, at the very end, is email us at ideas@bettertv.com. Share your thoughts on Joumana's job here on the show. We want to hear from you for sure. It'll be good, I promise. So today's a great show. We've got quite a few things coming up, including Blake Shelton, one of your favorite artists.
Yes, I am definitely a country music girl, and he is one of my favorites. He's got like a #1 song that's on the charts right now. That very awesome interview.
It's going to be fun to see. He's going to be talking about Miranda's shoe collection in this piece that we have coming up.
He's a total guy.
Yeah. Do you do Pilates?
I do. Well, I did Pilates so long ago. Not that I'm that old, but I feel like it was before it even became really popular.
Right.
And love it. That's the best I've ever felt that I've looked is when I was doing Pilates.
Pilates is no joke. And so Andrea, who's our fitness expert, she's going to be going out and showing us some moves with Real Housewives of DC star Mary Amon. So that's going to be really interesting as well. All right, but Joumana, today we're going to be kicking today off with a little bit of controversy. A study came out recently saying that the average amount spent by a bridesmaid, you ready for this? $1,700. Give or take a few dollars here and there. I don't think I could be a part of that wedding.
Oh my gosh, but some people spend even more. We put the question out there to Better's Facebook fans. Okay. Shelly says, I'm a bridesmaid. For my sister's wedding in November, looks like I'll be spending about $16,000 after all is said and done.
See, no.
Possibly more.
Unless it's Kate Middleton. I'm not doing that. $16,000? That's
too
much.
Bridesmaid, not the bride.
No. Liz says, even though I try to dress my girls in budget-friendly attire, they still spend a staggering amount of money after I think about all the small expenses, the dress, shoes, jewelry, splitting the cost of a shower and a bachelorette party. It does get very, very expensive. It does.
Wow. Well, Diane had a different approach. She says, when I got married, I got my bridesmaids' dresses from a thrift store and did all the alterations myself.
She needs to talk to that $16,000 bridesmaid right there.
They need to hire her, and she needs to make a profit.
Right. Well, joining us now are Kristen Koch, senior editor of TheKnot.com, and also a recent bridesmaid, Martine Pierre. Good to have you both here.
Hi.
Hello. So you're about to get married in
next month.
Next month.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. You ready? You're going to make them pay $1,600?
Not at all.
$16,000 even?
No.
A lot of women can relate to that movie. Was it 27 dresses?
Yep.
You have them all. You can just basically make a quilt out of all of those bridesmaids' dresses. And the average amount that a bridesmaid spends would be what, would you say?
Well, on average, it's about $139 for the dress. That's not including alterations, which can, run as high as $50, sometimes $75. And they go up to about 300 plus that we've seen. So it really can add up. And then with the shoes, the accessories, the jewelry, it can top $400 or $500 sometimes. So it's definitely a big expense.
Kristen, I got to go down this. Engagement and shower gift, $50 each. The wedding gift, $100 to $150. Travel to the shower, bachelorette party, $300. You mentioned the dress, the lingerie, the shoes, $75, jewelry, $60, and then the hair and the makeup, $100. What about for the therapist afterwards? That's another expense they should just add in there too.
The financial advisor.
That's maybe what you need.
So you're getting married in just a few weeks. Yes. Are you going to put this on your bridesmaids, this drama?
Are you sure?
I'm positive because I was a bridesmaid, so I know exactly how expensive it can be. So I made sure that I bought my bridesmaids their jewelry. They can pick out whatever shoes they want to wear. So I'm trying to make it, affordable. They don't have to worry about the financial aspect of being a bridesmaid.
And is it a dress that they can wear again, or is it a bridesmaid dress?
Unfortunately, it's not.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty dress. They'll have pictures.
You know what? They always say that there's dresses that you can wear. Where are you going to go wear those
I am so victim of
dresses?
that. I was that girl. I let them pick it out, and I said, I want something that you can wear again. It's such a bridesmaid dress. They never wore it again.
They're like, yeah, Joumana's
there's no
over there
such
talking
thing.
crazy
That's
again.
why, if you can keep it, the cost down, I think that's important because you may think they'll wear it again, but they're not choosing their style.
And people might be wondering, we're just Debbie Downers? No. We're trying to help you save some money, so we've got some tips about that.
And we want to remain being friends after it's all said and done.
Right. So how do you save money if someone does ask you to become a bridesmaid?
Well, absolutely. I think that's the most important. You don't want to end a friendship over this. You don't want to feel resentful on the most important day of your friend's life. So I think before you say yes, you need to, kind of evaluate the situation. Talk to the bride about, what the wedding is going to be like. Is she going to expect you to fly to Florence for her Italian wedding? If that's not in your budget, I think you need to come clean and just, explain what you can and cannot do. And, there may be certain situations where it just doesn't work out, and maybe you do a reading in the wedding instead, or you're part of the shower but you can't make it to Florence for the wedding.
Right.
And I think a lot of brides, though, the most important thing is to have their friends standing by them, and maybe they'll volunteer to cover the dress or tell you, don't worry about the gift, don't worry about coming to my bachelorette party, just please be there for my wedding.
So you're saying let them know heads up right away. Don't wait till last minute and say,
from the start, absolutely, before she's under all this stress with the planning. And I definitely would not bring it up at a shower or an important event,
Hey, about that cake.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then you have some budget tips. You say that here's the breakdown. If you've got $200, you should spend $40 for the engagement gift, $50 for the shower gift, $100 for the wedding gift itself, and then for the bachelorette party, just $10.
Well,
I saw that.
I think it depends. First of all, you should gift based on how close you are. So if
or a group gift, right? I think that
it is.
Group gifts
I saw
are
that you said that.
You've got a whole group with you from the bridesmaids. You all pool together, get one of the nicer gifts on the registry, so you feel great about what you got. And you end up spending probably a little less, so that's always great. But it's absolutely by no means that you need to spend $200 total on all these gifts. If your coworker that you're not that close with asks you to be in her bridal party, and you do say yes, you don't need to go as extravagant on the gift. If it's your best friend, then that's a different story.
Very quickly, how many times have each of you been a bridesmaid? How about you, Martina?
One time.
Once?
Yeah.
Okay.
Twice.
Twice?
Twice? Well, 1.5 actually. Like, that's a whole nother show.
What happened to me? I got chosen, and people think that it's an honor, but sometimes I've had some of the bridezillas. 13 times I've been a bridesmaid.
Well, we have a lot of friends who think very highly of you.
No. They have no other.
I'm
just
feeling really
kidding.
rejected.
No. When you're at that age, years ago, when everyone's getting married, but it got expensive, and I was just saying yes to all of them, and so
that's I think something to
ridiculous.
consider. I think brides should take that into mind when they're asking people to spend all this money, because chances are, if you're in your 20s or 30s, everybody's getting married at the same time.
Yeah. So we'll be bridesmaids at your wedding, though, because you seem like you'd be easygoing.
I am.
Cool.
I'm very easy.
We're in. Yeah, we're in. 13 for you, and 14.
I get to pick the dress.
All right, congratulations. Thank you both so very much. Okay, we just talked bridesmaids. Now let's talk about being a guest at a wedding and gift giving.
Amy Eisinger, Associated Editor at WeddingChannel.com, is here to answer all of your burning questions and clue us in on those appropriate gift-giving guidelines.
Yes. Oh, good to have you here, Amy.
Thanks. Thank you for having me.
I don't care how many times you go to a wedding, and they happen all the time. People still ask the same questions over and over again. It just feels like the etiquette rules either change, or maybe the situation is different.
Every wedding is a little bit individual. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have to buy something off of the registry. Do you have to stick to that?
It's always advisable, and it's always easy to stick to the registry, just because, you know, here is an example where a couple has told you exactly what they want. So give them something that they want. You know, you can always give cash, but, you know, it's always nice to pick something off the registry. You know you're going to give them something that they love.
Is it considered rude then to pick a nice gift that's not on the registry? If you just don't want to buy something that's on there and you think that they can use it, is that considered rude?
It's not considered rude. Giving a gift at a wedding is always a kind gesture. So really, as long as you're giving a gift, that's a great thing.
Okay.
You know where I'm always stumped is, am I supposed to bring the gift? Or am I supposed to ship the gift? Where should I ship the gift? Like, what's the rule there?
This is one of the most overlooked rules of wedding gift giving, I think. You should not bring a gift to the wedding. It's always advisable to ship the gift ahead of time. Get it out of the way, you know. It gives you one less thing to worry about as a guest, and you definitely don't want to give your host, you know, the bride and the groom, you don't want to give them one more thing to worry about on the day of the wedding.
Lugging home, right. And going back to the registry itself, you said check it early because you don't want to get stuck with the like $2,000
That always
TV.
happens.
Yeah.
I happened to a bridal shower recently, and I ended up like stocking her up on diapers, and it's what she wanted, but it was at the tail end of the registry, and that's a big mistake we make. Yeah.
Go early, you know, find a way too. Maybe you can get some smaller items and kind of package them together. You know, a couple of kitchen items and kind of make a nice little package gift, something like that. You know, and if you are, you know, if the registry is totally empty or something, you can always get a gift certificate, maybe where they registered.
Well, now if you're bringing a guest that's not invited, obviously you're invited plus guest. Do you have to? This is a bigger gift, or do you have to? You know, I know there's like even an East Coast West Coast thing that I've learned recently that you have to like almost cover your plate, or I don't know how. I've never heard of that before.
It's a bit of a rumor.
It is. Okay, good. Phew.
Is it a rumor? I was going to say, I mean, this is a bit of an urban legend, I feel like, that you should try to somehow guess the amount of that the bride and the groom paid to have you there, and then you should pay that amount to the bride and the groom.
I panicked when I heard that.
It's just a myth, you know. You should give a gift that is commiserate to the relationship that you have with the bride and the groom. And, you know, it's very polite to try and account for having a guest too, you know, maybe bring a little bit something extra, but, you know, gift according to what your relationship is.
Group gifts, they're a great idea. Is that something that you see people doing more and more?
Definitely. More and more brides and grooms are putting group gifts, you know, higher priced items on their registry and expecting that people are going to chip in to get them. So you all chip in, you know, $50 and you get that $250 digital camera for the bride and the groom. It's a great idea. It's a nice cost-effective way, going back to the bridesmaids, it's a nice cost-effective way to, you know, get the bridesmaids together on a group gift there and have them buy something together.
Well, not that this is a reflection of me, of course, but is it true that you have a year to give a gift?
Ooh. That's a bit of a myth too. I think that was maybe something that used to be true, but really we suggest sending a gift within 6 months after the wedding date.
Where did that come from? A year. It's hard sometimes. Time goes by really fast. Destination weddings too. Do you have to bring a gift to the destination wedding? Because
we know it's an added expense. Obviously, you're going to be buying airfare to go to the destination wedding. It's still a really nice gesture if you can send a small gift ahead of time.
Yeah, they don't want to lug that back.
Yeah, exactly. This is again where, you know, go to the registry, find out where the gifts are being shipped. You know, even, you know, and just ship it ahead of time. Get it out of the way.
Ship your positive attitude. That's the only thing you need to bring. Thank you so very much.
Uninvited guest at home.
You know, some of the greatest cinematic moments in history are really created by the magnificent craftsmanship of filmmakers, the actors, and of course the costume designers.
Yes, Persol Eyewear has been behind some of these great stories, like the Thomas Crown Affair and Casino Royale. Now they've come to life in an exhibition, and Lauren was behind the shades for the unveiling.
Okay. Free is always a good thing, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing Ben Kingsley in a comedic role. What about you?
Just make sure you call him Sir Ben.
Sir Ben, yes, that's right.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Better, everyone. Well, our next guest is the coolest dude in country music these days. Of course, we're talking about Blake Shelton. He's on the hit show The Voice. He's also married to country music superstar Miranda Lambert, and he has a hot new CD that just topped the charts.
That's right. Ashley caught up with him at the Country Music Festival in Nashville.
I know everyone says he's a nice guy, but I think he's a very smart man, too. He doesn't argue about the shoes. He knows that they're all there, but he doesn't argue about them.
He's a man's man, for sure. Well, Blake's new album, Red River Blue, is out now.
I have a feeling I know who's going to be going out and getting that album.
What you're talking about? Okay,
I know you.
I'm a fan.
Well, for music to get your body moving, Pilates is a great way to get in shape.
That's right, and Andrea is proving that by sharing a workout with one of our favorite DC housewives.
Yes.
All in today's Getting Fit.
I think Pilates is the best way to get the morning started, period, hands down. Thanks so much, Andrea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you'd like even more workout ideas, make sure to head to bettertv.com and click on the videos. We'll be right back.
Okay, it is time for Hot Topics. This is a good one. Ladies, did you marry the wrong guy? 30% of now divorced women say that they knew it was wrong from the start. So why did they keep walking down the aisle? Joumana, this was an article that I found in Marie Claire magazine. Looking out of the corner of your eye. No. An article that I saw in Marie Claire magazine that, let me set this up for you, okay? Here's this woman who had been dating this really good-looking businessman for 4 years. Great boyfriend, great fiance. They get ready to get married. She's got the $15,000 gown, 7-carat ring. Everything seems perfect financially and materialistically speaking. And she felt like he would make a great father to their kids, okay? So here comes the wedding. She's dreading it. 2 hours before the ceremony, she does not want to do it at all, but she does anyway.
Yeah.
Fast forward 5 years, they've got kids, but no sex life, and she's begging, she wants him to cheat so that she can get out of the marriage.
Yeah.
The article said that 30% of now divorced women say that they knew in their gut that they were marrying the wrong man, but they went ahead and did it anyway.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's
totally
to me a
why.
large percentage? Why do you think they still do it?
Because I think that when we're younger, when it's the first time around, it's like that, you know, that ideal guy, and you know, he's a construction project. I could change him. Things will change, and you know, I mean, I'm that girl kind of. Like, I mean,
a lot of women.
I didn't totally know, but
yeah.
it wasn't. You know, there were red flags that I decided to just look past, and now second time around, it's like the hardest thing to even find a date because I'm too smart. Wisdom, knowledge, all this is now on my side.
You know what to pick.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's the problem. Is that I don't want to say just youth, but the first time around, you're just. It's different. You jump in with both feet. You don't, you know, you ignore those signs, but then hindsight, you look at them and you're like, I think that's it. Because those percentages are high.
It is high. I mean, I didn't think that it was going to be that high. I mean, oh gosh, so how many men are out there married to a woman that just doesn't want to look at them every single day?
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying that they blame the biological clock. A lot of women say, you know what, once I hit 30, I've got to get married. They're so excited to get the ring. Yeah. There's this big proposal, and you feel like you have to follow up with an elaborate
I'm the
wedding.
last one of all my girlfriends who isn't married, or you know, whatever it is. It's just, it's become, even in our society, and this is the kind of negative, but I've heard a lot of people say, well, you can always get a divorce. It's like, people get married with the intention of, well, I have the option to get a divorce, and it's like, wow, that's not a good attitude to have.
So maybe that's what it is too. A lot of women figure there's an out that we can get out, which you know, years ago when you look at our parents' generation and generations before.
Yeah, that was it. It was like divorcing your mother or your father because it just didn't exist.
They just stayed.
This is your situation.
They also said that they blamed Cinderella and the romantic comedies for giving women this false impression that real love can conquer all. You can get through it even if it's not healthy for you, even if it's not the best thing.
That's me again. It's like they did a study on me. Oh, totally. But that still affects me. I sit there and watch these romantic comedies and I'm sobbing. And I'm like, I still believe that this is going to... And it's like, oh gosh, it does.
It's very complicated though. Honestly, they didn't... I wish that they would have did the same study with men.
I know.
How many men are walking
I'd be curious to know how many men see the red flags.
And then you've got the reality shows too. The bridezilla. They're focusing so much on the wedding planning, but not on the marriage itself.
Oh, believe me. And there's even states that, like, you know, depending on religion or whatever, it's like they really make your life difficult if you're not married, or in the, you know, it's
and you
tough.
talking about divorces. There's now divorce parties. Saw this one in New York Magazine.
That's
there are people that are holding parties to celebrate their divorce with their family and friends. So. Everything's all screwed up now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's the survey they should be taking. Is how many people out there, you know, feel that divorce is an option and it's not a big deal, and you get in there thinking.
Right, exactly, that it'll change. It's not going to change. We'll be right back. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an extra fun week for us, and we want to thank all of our great guest hosts. And I had an amazing time with you today, Joumana. It was a lot of fun having the girl power thing going on.
Yeah, we had fun. Now, we want you to take a look at some of the better moments and some that didn't make the show.
It's the fun parts.
Yes.
Fighting it.
It's flushing my nose. Like, oh God, I'm gonna cry.
On a roll, Uncle.
No, home run!
Stop it.
Just a better life to live if you're doing something that's a bit different. Or even a house, so that's really what it is.
Oh, I'm a little bit turned on by it.
Say it ain't so.
It is.
Shut the front door.
Slap me twice. That's it. That's gonna be one.
I'm in kind of New York eyes here.
Let's do it, girl.
Yeah, forget about it.
And an exhibit. Why are you doing that to me?
I'm in there just power.
Nothing's easy.
I know.
Go, girl. Yes. All right, well, I have to admit, it has been so much fun to have so many new faces on the show this week, and I want to thank each and every single guest that we've had on the show, including our guest today, Joumana Kid. Thank you. It was so much fun having the girl power here.
You're kidding? Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
This is probably the most fun I've had in as long as I can remember. Yeah.
So make sure you tell my boss that, too, all right?
I will. This has been fun.
And